is your build in the Parseval.
Interesting choice to start with the top bombers.
So, before we get there, Grunty, you always like to jump ahead. Before we get there, let's look at your freaking build. So, you're using air groups modification, sure. Aircraft engine, sure. Secondaries, Rob?
I think I was testing something and forgot to change it.
Okay. Because obviously that's great in co-op. It's great in operations. In random battles, if you're using your secondaries, the game's probably over.
I can't see it because neither of these options in here are actually really good.
Okay.
Like, the torpedo, longer attack duration for the torpedoes is usually something you don't need.
No.
Kind of the same with the rockets, and the torp speed comes with the downside that it makes your attack distance longer again, so it's not as straight of an upgrade as you think it is. So if you have good secondaries, taking the secondary mod is not the worst thing in the world. Especially if you consider submarines now that get close, and if they can get into secondary range, you can shoot those too.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah, if I had to choose something else, I'd probably get the attack
German
modification. That's probably it.
I was gonna say, I think the rocket extension time would be more useful because it gives you like those two. It gives you 2 extra seconds to line up the drop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think at least
But
ones
the
that
thing is, like,
would have been helpful.
the rockets
for me in
aim
Smash.
so far out on the German CVs that you actually have the time. Like,
If you're
Planes are so
good and
fast.
you got a lot of experience, sure. But if you're new to the line, the extra 2 seconds could make a difference.
you don't really want to move the rockets though after you started the attack run, because that messes up your reticle too much. So you kind of have to be good at pre-aligning them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're good at it, you don't need the 2 seconds. If you're not good at it, yeah, the 2 seconds might help you get the drop on the target, but your reticle is gonna be super big and the drop isn't good anyway.
Okay.
I'm just a slave to more torpedo speed.
So, okay, and then you've got bomber modification. So, for your AP bombers to do more damage, sure, or to not do more, take more damage, and that makes sense because you have to fly directly over the target before you can drop them. So that's fine. And then you've got concealment. Do you have a special captain, or is this just a regular?
Yeah, concealment is a bit of a standard for me. It's a regular.
Okay.
Why is this concealment
Why
though?
concealment though?
I mean,
Up here?
like I take the concealment module, the upgrade. Concealment upgrade usually.
Yeah, I would.
It's sort of just like a
Load
habit
planes
for me.
faster.
Mine
Is
is
it-
like, no, not
Okay.
planes fast. It's the preparation time and 2 more planes. Like, 2 more planes is the big thing here.
Or even that,
Right.
you could get the consumable one and get longer duration on the torpedo bomber heal.
Yeah, but that's...
Or the,
And the
Nice.
dive bomber here. It's
yeah,
both.
I forgot
Yeah.
the Germans get the dive bomber heal as well.
Right.
I would not take concealment here.
I mean,
So-
doesn't concealment delay your your planes coming back, or is that just the captain's skill?
That's the captain skill.
Only
Okay.
captains.
Yeah, you're talking about down here, Hidden Menace,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. But for the concealment module, yeah, I agree. You're probably better off going for flight control. Good catch, guys. All right, so standard captain, you are running air supremacy. You're looking at improved engines, aircraft armor, and then enhanced aircraft armor.
Aircraft armor is also wrong on the German CVs particular, because they
What
have
is?
so low. They have
Oh.
so low hit points that on German CVs taking the extra hit points is worth more than the 10% damage reduction.
It's a higher percentage impact, yeah.
It's a
so
higher percentage impact. Ideally, I would take both of these 3-point skills before I take a 4-point skill.
uh-huh.
But if you only take one 3-point skill on a German CV, it should be the survivability expert.
Okay.
It's better than the aircraft armor.
Okay. And then signals, you ain't running any. So there you go.
Not even a heal flag or a speed flag? Damn.
Okay.
Dude,
Yeah, heal
flags
flag
are
works
fuck-
for flags works for planes.
Okay, so the flags work for the planes then.
Mhm.
Not every flag, like the consumable reduction, for example, doesn't work on the plane consumables.
Right.
What about speed?
Heal does.
I would say the
Speed,
speed.
speed works only for the hull, not for the planes.
Right, only the ship.
So what? I agree. What's the point of even wasting a flag? You're not gonna
Yep.
get detonated.
No.
You want the heal flag and you want the flooding chance flag.
Yes. Especially since you don't really do any HE dive bombing or anything like that. You don't care about setting fires. It'd be different if you were in a British or an American carrier, for example. So, alright, let's get to the game. 2 carriers, no subs, there's a straight 8, only 1 destroyer on each team. So, Rob, are you trying to find their destroyer early on, or what are you looking for here with these torpedo bombers?
I think I'm mostly just trying to spot as many ships as I can.
Okay. You decided to turn in and drop on a Belfast 43 that's bow onto you. Why?
I was expecting to lose more planes, so I was like, I'll get an attack off while I can.
Where are you sending these planes to?
Nowhere.
Okay, back to the hull.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think
where's
I-
your next plan of attack?
I don't think I had one.
Okay.
Well, in that
think I was
case,
supposed to-
with one destroyer in the game, you need to harass the ever-living hell out of him, and he should be at sea
Yes.
somewhere.
No,
He's either
I
at C or
wouldn't.
A, probably.
Here's the thing, though. In the German CV, going against the DD, you need to be
It's
really
painful.
comfortable with your torpedo bombers to,
Okay.
to
Or-
make that happen.
And I'm
This
You
is where you pray your team shoots him. So if you send
Right.
one squadron at the DD, and if nobody shoots him, then yes, you just break off and ignore him. But if your
Right.
team is shooting him, just keep him spotted, harass him.
Exactly.
He's
Goes
the
back to
threat
your Baron
you.
game, Grunty, remember?
He is the biggest threat to your DD.
Yeah, but here's the thing, in the barn I can attack the destroyer with my skip bombs. In
Oh, 5 citadels, nice. So, anyway, your follow-up towards the Belfast, it worked out. I mean, I'm surprised the Belfast turned the way he did. I thought he would have stayed north of the island. Looks like you were expecting that too.
yeah, that's what I was sort of expecting. And when I saw him doing that, I was like, oh, I better also see if I can.
here's one thing
Get
for
him
you
there.
though. Like, you're empty dropping here every single time. It's fine to conserve your planes, but if you do this in a match where you're top tier like this, you're never gonna get up a second attack.
Right.
And you're going here for ships that are pretty much isolated alone, where you would be able to get up 2 attacks if you don't pre-drop.
It's early in the game,
Oh.
so I can understand the idea of pre-dropping. You know, after the 10-minute mark, I think what your advice there becomes more valuable, right?
I mean, even early on, like if your intention is to go for a ship that is isolated, it's
Mhm.
perfectly fine. Also, I don't know if that is I guess it's a replay bug looking at the spread, but the reticule
Yeah.
looked super wide.
It's a bug. As
So
Falcon
it looked
mentioned,
like he was moving his mouse while aiming, but considering how narrow the drop was, he probably was.
as Falcon mentions, Benson is spotted at sea cap. Now, if you look at where the Benson is, he's actually in that little channel. It'd be really difficult for Rob to get in there and do something. It's also difficult for his team to get in there and do something as well. But
I mean,
why the
okay, AP
Massachusetts
bomber-
here instead of the Bismarck?
Well, I was trying to see if I could dissuade this Massachusetts or help the Cleveland here.
Okay. Because the Bismarck's probably your better target for AP bombers, but I get you there. That makes sense. You want to focus on you instead of the Cleveland because Cleveland is weak sauce and, you know, can easily get slapped off the face of the earth. What are you going to get out of this? 3 penetrations, no citadels. I don't think you can citadel Massachusetts.
I
think he did it too
I
early.
think he can. No, he needs to drop higher. He waited.
Okay, early. Yeah,
Long.
got it. Okay. Yeah, because with AP bombs, there's a bit of a mechanic with terms of like you know, gravity's acceleration, that sort of thing.
It's basically comes down to the impact angle.
Mm-hmm.
If you drop it higher up, the bomb falls straighter down.
Right.
You have less of an impact angle on the deck.
Got it. All right, torpedo bombers straight at the Massachusetts. Why straight at him instead of trying for a flank shot on him?
I think I was expecting him to turn, maybe to his right.
Okay.
Why would he though when he sees you coming straight from the front?
Because
Right.
there's another carrier.
Yeah. Now
Because
you just
the Parseval was right there.
so you just
or the-
recalled this as well. You had a full squadron. You could have probably gotten a second shot on the Bismarck. You hadn't pre-dropped, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a good habit to preserve your planes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
If you don't do it every single time and you actually know what you can attack twice and what not, you can
Right.
optimize your damage.
Yep. So I like the idea of going after the Hipper here because why not? He's by himself. He's German cruiser, so you have I would think you've got a pretty good chance of citadeling him. I still think the Bismarck's your better choice, but there's the Citadel. Sausage7, thank you for the follow.
I mean, not the best drop, but
No, you maneuvered at the end probably with your keys or it's relatively complicated. But you turned your planes wrong. Like you turned right. You should have turned left.
Why is that?
Like the way he dropped with dropping right, he dropped at like a 40-degree angle. He could have used the drift with turning left and he would have caught the whole ship long side, although granted not middle, but a little bit on the outside. But that would probably still have resulted in
Okay.
more hits. Ship is dead.
The other thing is, when you're turning with your dive bombers, if you look straight down with your mouse, you turn quicker, don't you?
No.
I could have sworn you could do that, especially with American battleship or carriers.
You don't really turn quick. I mean, the Americans maneuver very well. Germans don't do that much.
Okay.
The main downside if you look down is that you don't see the flak anymore.
Well, that is true.
It's one of those frustrating things with German CVs.
Here's an example of Rob now. He's going in with the full squadron, and he nopes out. You took a lot of hits there coming in on the Massachusetts. That's why, like,
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know.
because you went like you want to do this with the torp bombers when you have your heal ready, right? So
Yep.
you can heal through that AA damage and then come back. Like his heal
Right.
was on cooldown. His approach wasn't really optimized to avoid most of the. I think he
Well,
got to.
I've
And
got
I
a
didn't-
question. Why not go after whatever the other carrier, your friendly carrier, is going after?
yeah.
Focus down a ship.
And thank you, Rob. I was going to mention, I think your Chapayev is a better target for you right now than the Massachusetts. Especially because the Massachusetts probably has the best anti-air in this battle, so why focus on him and lose all your planes, right?
yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the other thing, the impact's going after him. Like that's focus fire. That's
Yep.
what I think you should be doing. I think the miscommunication of you not telling your LICV, hey, let's go kill the Benson at the start also, because now your DD's dead.
Yep.
I usually don't do this either.
Little bit off on your rockets there. No citadels. So the German rockets are very sensitive. The angle. No, that's not going to work.
Too tight of a turn.
Yep.
You also took too much AA aligning your first drop inside the AA range of the Chappie. You wanna do this outside.
Mm-hmm. So you notice he didn't have his engine boost available, so he was out of engine boost and then started the run. Ideally, he'd have like at least half engine boost or something, right? So he can like speed through it.
Like, let's assume you have a target that has like 5 kilometer AA range.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna basically be aligned on your drop, like it's 6 kilometers away from him with the rockets already. That's where you wanna be broadside.
Mm-hmm.
And you put your engine boost forward because it only lasts like 5.5 seconds or 5 seconds depending on your captain skills.
Right.
And start the attack run when the first flak appears, most likely, because that will make your planes descend, automatically dodge the flag,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just have to align properly to the speed and lead enough. You get the citadels, hopefully.
Checking to see if I got a message from my wife yet. Does not look like I have. Interesting.
One cruiser left.
Spence, what's your question? Yeah, the Wichita's left, so you're gonna line up for a drop on the North Carolina here.
I think you're starting these bomb drops too early.
He is.
Yeah.
It's challenging to get used to because in another carrier that might be at the right time.
If that was a Chocaco, he'd probably get the citadels with that drop.
I think that was the tier 8 carrier that had
And
AP
get
that
a-
I used the most at this point. 'Cause
Okay.
Nah, he can't get to, not into this group.
Spence, that's the other Benson on the ME team. That's the single destroyer. He's just pointing out that that destroyer's dead.
Like, in general, you can get 2 drops with the bombs, with the heal. But not in a group of 3 ships that is together like this.
I would agree with you, Grunty. I think you're wishful thinking to try to get 2 kills. And then, dude, you're getting shot at now, I think. Yeah. Took a little bit of time there. You're going to waste this. Yeah, you just recall. You've wasted that whole salvo. What were you looking at there? What took you so long?
I was trying to route my carrier through the little channel up there at sea. See if
Okay.
autopilot would do it.
And so because of that, you just wasted your really good opportunity to hit that Wichita.
I'd probably honestly not be going for the Wichita here. I would be going for the low HP North Cal first.
North Carolina. Especially
Yeah,
with the dive
I-
bombers. Back with
like
the
Wichita
rockets.
is not gonna kill you. The battleships is potentially gonna kill you.
Yeah, I think the rocket idea into the Wichita makes sense. This does not. It is what it is. One hit. It's an overpen. Because your bombs are, in this, they're really well suited for battleships, not for cruisers.
Well, ironically, I think that was too high.
Wait longer,
Well,
you
it's
mean?
Yeah. But
Against a cruiser, wait longer, so you're like...
but
The
I mean,
vehicle is just too big there to like... This is just RNG, like, if he gets lucky, this is 3 citadels. If he gets unlucky, he gets a drop like this against cruisers.
Yeah.
That's what makes these bombs just so frustrating to use.
Now, here, torpedoes should be on... No, forget the Wichita. The torpedoes should be on the North Carolina. You are currently driving through 2 anti-airfields, and that Wichita is too close to the... You just dropped on the sand. North Carolina, 100%. Get the North Carolina out.
Like, or if you really want to go for the Wichita with the top planes, then you have to come from the inside right away.
Correct.
Not fly through the...
Yeah, I think I
The
misjudged the
outside.
activation distance on that one.
Absolutely you did. Now,
That is too close again.
well, I think that's the replay bug. He does manage to get the kill with the Wichita because of the 1-2 punch with this allies carrier. So, that's nice.
Why not drop your fighters at all to keep those guys spotted?
Mm-hmm.
Like even prior to the Bismarck, your Bismarck going down, neither one of you guys dropped a fighter to keep spotting on these 2 ships.
Right.
Why did you Huh? Did you misclick?
No, he recalled. I think he wanted to dive bomb the Bismarck, but
No, I think my target was gonna. I think my goal was to go around and get the North Carolina. Just low health.
Could have
Bismarck.
you could have used your rockets for that.
Yeah, hit the Bismarck. Look how close he is. Why wouldn't you hit the Bismarck here? Your AP bombers are fantastic against German battleships.
I mean, at this point, you have to go after the Bismarck because he's going to be the one to eventually shoot you.
Right. Not only that, but you've taken so long to go after the North Carolina, which was last spotted low health. The chances of him still being low health are extremely low. Also, your boost is not available when you need it most, which is right now to get through this anti-air. Think you started your run too early? You still get the kill. You do get 1 Citadel. Port bombers, fine. Get the kill in the biz. 3 minutes to go. You are down on points, but you have 2 caps to their 1. The question is, will your Atlantico survive 2 carriers while you try to deal with this Bismarck? Because you just lost your carrier. Why did you recall? You could have gotten another... You could have swung around and got another drop on him.
I mean, the whole point of saving your planes for the end is this is
To
the
use
end.
them. This is the end. Exactly.
What are you doing? Why are you not launching planes? Oh, you're waiting for your dive bombers?
I'd launch my rockets and go rocket on the Bismarck.
What are you doing?
No. I think I was waiting for torpedo bombers to come in.
But
I don't know.
why? Why not just use the bombs?
Or the
They're ready.
rockets.
You had 4 of them.
You flood out the Bismarck,
and now you
but
launched
if you...
the bombs anyway.
Yeah. But if you had used the rockets earlier, then the Bismarck would have died earlier, and then you'd have the ability to... I don't know, go back to
Okay,
torpedoes or something.
here's the thing. You need to turn around your ship right now. You're ahead. You'll still be ahead even if your Atlantico dies. But you need
Rob.
to stay alive.
Rob, what was with this fighter drop?
I misjudged the radius of the fighters. I was trying to give the Atlantico fighter cover.
Okay, you don't drop the fighters behind him or next to him. You drop the fighters in front of him. Because he's sailing forward. He's not going to turn into those unless you've made that communication with him. So that's a real waste. I know you're trying to get the coverage over the Atlantico before these guys hit. It's not going to happen. It's too late. These 2 guys are going to get their drops through. But what you want to do is get it set up so that the next drops have to go through your fighter.
Here's the thing with the fighter. Your fighters take about, if you're not on a fighter build, about 3 seconds to come down in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And once they're in the area, they take about 5 seconds to engage.
Mm-hmm.
So
The first strike getting through. All you're trying to do is prevent the follow-up strike.
Correct.
yeah, and everything here goes through because the enemy fighters are never 5 seconds inside your fighter petrol area because it's so far in the back.
Right.
Why are you spotting a spotted ship?
I'm curious about that too. You're not like actually going in with your planes. I feel like you had a really good opportunity, several, to drop on the Parseval.
I was waiting for him to leave that, or I was trying to wait. It was low enough because I was one away from a Kraken.
You're playing for the Kraken on a close game. That is.
I wouldn't do that.
Jesus Christ.
I would not do that at all. I would instead... See, you didn't even get the kill. You just lost your Atlantico So you might get the Kraken, but you might also lose the game. I don't like that. I think you're better off focusing on the game first, and then if you can get the Kraken, great, you know? Nice extra bonus.
Wait. More importantly, what's the point of getting a Kraken?
You don't get
seriously,
anything
you don't-
anymore.
You don't get anything.
And that last recall was a misclick. I meant to
Okay.
turn right that recall.
Like, there's no more like a pat on the back. I think it's not worth a potential loss.
Right. Right. I mean, that's really, you're right. That's all it is now, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, congratulations. Good job. You killed 5 ships.
Mm-hmm.
But you lost. I'd rather get the win with 0 kills.
So, Rob, a lot of discussion about your target priority and the planes you're using. As a carrier player, it's difficult to always bring out the right planes. At this point, you got the Bismarck or the Belfast. I really feel like looking at the minimap, the Bismarck is the best choice. He's by himself. Your bombers will pen him, your torpedoes will hit him. Your rockets, I mean, German battleships have a lot of superstructure, so your AP rockets could actually do a lot of damage as well if you aim right. So
I think
I
actually both here is fine. Like you can go
Hold
for the
on.
Bismarck or the Massachusetts.
But more importantly, you have 1 destroyer. I don't care if your fighters aren't going to kill the initial
mhm.
set. He is now extremely low health. The enemy carrier has been hounding and hounding and hounding him. A simple drop of a fighter gets that carrier to back off of him.
Okay.
I
So
don't
gr-
think so. I don't think so because it's 2 carriers.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay,
I-
but
I like Putin's line of thinking though, because if each carrier is not communicating like what Rob was doing, he wasn't communicating with the Implacable. I mean, look at where his bomber is right now, where I paused it. Putin's exactly right. You literally flew right over the Asashio. You could have dropped a plane over him. Even if it doesn't do anything, at least makes him feel better.
I just
mean,
think these
there's-
fighters get shot down immediately by the ships around him.
The
Asashio
Asashio
is way
and-
too far forward.
I'll give you that. But the other thing is, I know AP bombs aren't going to do massive damage. You're probably not going to do much.
Mm-hmm.
But why was this game close? Because the Benson was able to cap C. Not even going after him, not even asking the other KV, hey, let's kill this low health Benson. Force him to use the smoke, force him to do something. Any
don't think-
damage on a DD is good damage.
I don't think you can do anything here in a German CV.
You
There's
can
Like the
nothing.
drop
channel,
AP,
it's-
you can drop the AP bombs on him. Yeah, you're not going to do 5 or 6K.
They're just gonna miss. You're not gonna hit a destroyer with that.
You never know if you're going to hit unless you try. Just
you seen
assuming
his-
you're going to miss is just giving up, in my opinion.
So
No, that's just wasting potential damage you could have used on a different ship.
Yeah, but it's also a destroyer. Any chip damage you to the destroyer is going to hurt it in the long run, since it's a destroyer without a heal.
These bombs are not like you see how big the reticle is. You see how small a Benson is.
there's
Like-
only the 3. I think AP rockets is an opportunity, but if he's in the channel, that's difficult. Torpedo bombers,
There's
you're
no
limited
chance.
to a frontal attack only, which is very easy to dodge. I mean, I kind of agree with Grunty here. You're better off trying to hit other targets. The Bismarck is taking care of keeping the Benson spotted at the very least for the team. The only thing is, I would say, put a fighter down for the Asashio.
I mean, you can't do it, but that like it
doesn't
makes
matter
the
anyway.
Asashio maybe feel better, but it's not keeping him alive.
Did you
But
notice the
coming up-
Asashio just derped right into the secondary range of the Massachusetts and died anyways? Like, it didn't matter.
Yeah, like.
So,
But coming back
That's-
to his target selection, I think both the Massachusetts and the Bismarck are fine here to go for. Both are isolated.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably gonna do more damage to the Bismarck just because it's German. He's probably gonna
Yes.
lose less planes. But then
Yes.
again, if he gets the Massachusetts out of that position,
Mm-hmm.
that means a lot of AA is gone in the middle of the map, which will give him more opportunities to maneuver his planes where he wants to later on. So I think both is
Okay.
fine.
That is true. That is true. Let's continue. So, okay, those are AP or HE bombers. You got your torps now. This is your torp strike on the Massachusetts. I mean, the only thing there was, again, you could have, I think, recalled. If you were only planning on one strike, you could have recalled one salvo ahead of time. But you just went straight in, which is, hey, fine, whatever.
I mean, the other thing he could have done prior to the strike is go up to this A6, drop a fighter to keep the carrier spotted. Because once the
Uh-huh.
mass dies, everybody's going to want to start shooting it.
That is true.
What were the enemy carriers again?
I think one was a Parseval. I don't remember the other one.
I think there was
Implacable
another
or
implacable.
something.
I think it was
Implacable.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back for a second because here I think here's where you had some opportunities and you kind of squandered them, Rob. So North Carolina is extremely low. You launched your AP bombers. I would have liked to have seen you take your AP bombers this way and then go whack the North Carolina. Thanks for the follow, by
Yeah.
the way, Legionnaire. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's Legionnaire. Holy hell. Hi, Legionnaire. Guys, we're on camera.
Is
So
this when we start dropping all the NDA stuff?
yes, all the NDA things. Drop them now. Legionnaire, by the way, is an employee for Wargaming in Austin, so that's why we're making those jokes, so we can all get banned. Anyways, killing the North Carolina, I think, is a good idea. Instead,
Yeah,
you're gonna drop the Wichita with your AP bombers. Go ahead, Grunty. What were you gonna say?
No, I was like, I'm totally with you here. Um, the worst case is like not even like you can maybe make the argument you want to go for the Wichita, but he lost so many planes in the approach because the approach wasn't good anyway. But
Yep.
yeah, like the North Cal is dead right here if he just goes for it.
Can we also point out for a second that the Implacable dropped the North Carolina, so the North Carolina is extremely low right now. Like, this is your opportunity. Instead,
You could have still turned them planes
Mhm.
out and probably
Yep. Instead, you drop the Wichita, do negligible damage. Now, here's your torpedo strike. Again, this is another opportunity to go for that North Carolina, but you don't do it. Instead, you literally drop on the beach. Come back around, and again, thanks to the Implacable getting that first hit, you're able to get this kill on the Wichita. There he goes.
yeah. But you could have saved a lot of planes if you want to go for the Wichita anyway. Just go from the
Right.
inside right away and not from the outside.
Right. What I think is hilarious, Rob, is that the time that you decide to go after the North Carolina, by the time that happens, we are all saying drop the Bismarck. Because the Bismarck is much closer to you, clearly the bigger threat. And frankly, it's been so long since you've seen the North Carolina, you've got no idea where the North Carolina is. We're going to see him heading this direction in a second. You also don't know what his health is. If he has another heal, this AP bomber strike is not enough to kill it. Fortunately for you, the North Carolina does not have a heal available, and he noped him out of the game. Here come your torpedo bombers on the Biz. And we missed the part where
There was a chance for the double attack, although it would have probably lost a plane in the process, but it could have definitely double attacked here, yeah. And then you just
yeah.
didn't launch planes for like a solid 30 seconds.
Right, you recalled the AP rockets. Now you're going in with your AP bombers, but you're actually not going to drop the Parseval. Where I think you might as well have. You said you were hoping for a Kraken. Lantico dies right here. Then you're going for it. Look how low health the Parseval is. and you missed.
It's actually, if you really wanted to go for the Kraken there, the dive bombers is probably the worst planes you could have chosen.
Bring the
for that.
rockets.
Rocket planes, what should have yeeted him. Because he's got to
Rockets
show
or
broadside to
torps would-
somebody.
Rockets or torps would have been better than the AP
Mhm.
bombs.
I don't think
don't
he had
really
enough
wo-
torps.
I don't
I
know
think-
how many torp bombers he had ready at this moment.
Also,
I think he
look
only
at,
had like 2 or 3.
look at the Asashio for a sec, guys. The Asashio got spotted, made his inky, and his left inky. I'm gonna put it out here
Yeah.
like this. He doesn't deserve the fighters at this point.
Yeah, I'm actually not like that. Asashio play is super. What actually got him spotted in the first place?
Either
Was
the
it planes?
Planes or Benson.
Mm-hmm.
But he has better. Wait, let me rephrase. He should have better concealment than the Benson.
Maybe he just got the Sashi and he doesn't know how to play it yet.
I don't know. You know
Well,
what?
I mean, at least he
He's
didn't
not
try
even.
to go
rewind
to a
rewind
torp
before
run.
he even enters the cap.
It's the carrier. It's the carrier spots him. He probably had his anterior on or something. Also, there's
Okay,
torpedoes
carrier
coming
spots
after
him.
him. He takes torpedoes from the Benson at the same time as the rockets from the carrier. So he pops his smoke. Now we all agree he should have just stopped, but he kept going. So you know what?
Wait a
At
minute,
this point,
that's not Benson torps, right?
it looked like it.
Look at
What
the
else could hit
timer,
him?
how long the map was going. Benson reload is 2 minutes. How the hell could that have been Benson torps?
Well, let's take a look. The
No,
torpedoes
there's
hit.
torp planes.
Was it torp
There's
planes?
rockets. There's rockets and torp planes. There's the
Okay.
rocket planes. There were torp planes spotted, I believe, coming in.
I don't see any. Weird.
Maybe not.
Well, either way, I mean,
He hit a torpedo. That's all that matters.
he hit a torpedo. He smokes. He eats himself out of that, and then he just sees a Massachusetts and charges him. So,
That's yeah, he actually made the turnaround and get out, and then he turned back in.
yeah,
I think those
So-
are bench and torps because if you look the way the other two that missed him were going, are coming from the bench's direction.
that's what I thought
It's
too.
weird though. Like Benson reload is 2 minutes, right? Like
Oh,
how
Well,
can he hit?
this is
2
beginning of
minutes
the
in?
game, right?
yeah. I don't know. Either way, he died doing dumb things. So, I mean, you can hope for the team play. You can put the plane down. He's not going to use the plane. He's just going to go eat himself until the Massachusetts die anyway. But Puddin's suggestion of a plane there is a good one.
I mean, the other thing is the Hipper's a good choice for your bombers. So, like, it's not like there's nothing for you to target up there.
Right. Okay. Is there anything else to talk about with regards to this replay, or are we good at this point?
Stop
feel we're
tabbing
good.
out of the game, Rob.
Yeah.
There was at least 3 points you were probably tabbed out.
Okay. That's good feedback too. All right, so let's get ready for our next one.